Welcome back to the Tailoring Talk Magazine. Roberto and Jon here at the BFI IMAX to see Superman. This is a rather special episode because we're doing this here. There we go. I was gonna live stream it, but then I just thought, as the channel has grown and we have a minority of people who will make silly comments, we've decided not to.
No. They'll just molest me for double-decker bars, won't they?
This is true. This is true as well. Yeah, exactly.
I like our Michael Parkinson seats. There's a little old person's reference there for you.
Exactly. Who's interviewing who?
Well, I think you're Michael Parkinson and I am Dame Helen Mirren.
Okay. Right.
If you're looking at looks here, you know.
Yeah. Or The Rock and Bill Burr.
Bilbo or Bill Burr?
Bill Burr.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So,
anyway.
Superman.
Yes.
We're here, finally. James Gunn's Superman.
Yep.
And we know absolutely nothing about it because I've strenuously been avoiding anything
really
to
hard.
do with it. Very, very hard. Yeah.
I've avoided. I mean, I have seen. I think I saw the original trailer. Him in the snow with is it Crypto the dog? Yeah. Which was just kind of got us going. Got the juices flowing. But no, all I've really done in the lead up to this film is watch all the original Superman films, which I've quite enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
And actually, my children have been watching them with me, and it's kind of the Superman, the Christopher Reeve films are a real kind of time capsules, aren't they? They're really interesting insight. The first film was 1978, and I think holds up really well, and actually holds up quite well with the special effects on the most part as well. And I kind of the gradual decline into the sequels and Superman 4, which is just a travesty. And I've also tried to watch the new DC films as well. So I've watched Superman, Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and I didn't watch the Snyder cut of, help me out here,
Justice
League because I didn't have a spare 4 hours before the film. Thank you to Alex and his Plex server as well, by the way. So, but I think I've seen enough Superman now to know that I've got a good comparison. I haven't seen the Brandon Routh film either, which I'd like to see, so I might watch that later on. But
I definitely recommend seeing the Brandon Routh film.
Yeah.
It is a continuation of Superman 2.
That's right. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I felt you and I were both talking about this 2-3 nights ago, because I think I came here to see it at the BFI IMAX. Because it was one of the first films which had a taste of 3D when 3D first came to cinemas, and we didn't yet have enough processing power to make full 3D films. So quite during the film there'd be a message saying, "Put your glasses on," and we put them on for certain scenes, like when all the spikes come out of the ground, don't they? I think Lex Luthor does some bad things over in the ice somewhere, and so that was really interesting to watch it in 3D and experience the new tech, and actually quite a good film. It didn't do very well, did it? I remember rightly.
It was a Bryan Singer movie, and I don't think it did as well as they hoped. But I think that same year it went up against Casino Royale.
Right. Yeah.
Because I remember seeing both of those at Leicester Square Road in 2006.
2006. The same year that YouTube was released.
Oh wow.
The first Daniel Craig Bond and YouTube were both. That was the same year, so quite an important year for everybody in the world.
Yeah.
Really.
Wow.
Yeah.
And YouTube's very, very important to us.
Yes.
What is it about Superman for you? Because for me, I mean, I've only had time to watch the original, 1978.
Yeah.
And
it's such a charming film, isn't it?
It was a very special film to me as a child because I had that and Star Wars: A New Hope on rotation as a child. So I have seen that film countless times, and I got quite emotional actually watching it because, again, it was a me 3, 4, 5 years old kind of deal.
Yeah, me too.
I had the bedspread, I had the wallpaper behind my bed, I had comics, I had the costume. I used to wear it underneath my school uniform. So
you're meant to wear it over the top, aren't you? The pants
I wore it under my school uniform.
You burst out of it.
So then, so at playtime, this is something that
Hold on, what? You wore the uniform?
I wore the Superman costume underneath my school uniform. So so there's a game that we used to play that you millennials or whatever you're called now will not have played. called Kiss Chase, which is where girls would chase after boys and
No.
try and kiss them.
It was never girls after boys.
In my school it was. All the girls were trying to run after me.
Well, of course they were.
Exactly.
I've got another story about that almost killed. I almost died due to Kiss Chase, but
Oh, wow.
not for camera recording.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But as I ran away from them, to get an extra burst of speed, I would then do the,
And would you be doing the dum dum
literally rip the
dum
bottom.
dum
My
music
mum-
in your head?
My mum just got exacerbated with the number of times she had to sew buttons back onto my school shirts because I was doing the Clark Kent reveal, and I almost killed myself because the first time they got me the uniform, or the costume rather, uniform, I wore it. My mum and dad were out in the garden.
Were you on the roof?
I basically was on the first floor, out the window, on the sill, telling my mum and dad, I'm going to fly, I need to go and save the world. And my mum had to sort of talk to
you down.
me.
She was the negotiator.
While my dad then went up into the house to go and grab me off the ledge, but I was going to jump. But that's the thing, when you're 3-4 years old, in an age where CGI wasn't really a thing for us.
Superman was the first superhero movie.
Exactly, that too.
It started the whole thing rolling. That
It
Superman
did.
was the first superhero movie.
But also, I think the CGI effects now, a lot of Superman is CGI, and that's why he manages to fly so bloody fast. Whereas the original Superman movie,
He sort of glides away, doesn't he?
Exactly. But it kind of almost makes you feel like you could do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it really captured my imagination. So Superman's always been special from that point of view. My favourite superhero growing up was actually Spider-Man, and that was because he wore a mask. So he could be anyone, any colour underneath that. Whereas Superman was a white guy who was involved.
Was the blue-eyed scout, wasn't he? Blue-eyed scout boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when I went back to watch the original film, I watched the 3 hour 8 minutes uncut version. That has. It's about an hour and 45 minutes before you get to Martha and Jonathan at the farm. There's a lot of Krypton exposition.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot more sort of the politics of Krypton and science and there's
How do you access that cut of it? Because I bought them on iTunes. Do I need to watch it on my Apple TV?
Yeah, it's on iTunes.
Okay.
There's various cuts, but and probably on Google Play as well and other services. But there's a lot more of Krypton going down the pan as well. So they must have spent. They spent a fortune on miniatures, and there's a whole kind of 20-minute bit where they're all falling down like crevasses, and the Earth. Krypton is breaking up, and
for a children's film, it was
it's
actually
quite dark.
harrowing.
Yeah. And it's really dark because you see a lot of bodies being sort of thrown down crevasses, and you see his parents die, and there's a lot more Marlon Brando. He got paid a lot of money for his
10 million.
That's right, 10 million for, I think, in the final cut for about 12 minutes of airtime, but in the uncut version, he's in it for a lot more, so it's understandable.
Okay.
But and Richard Donner was really
Marlon
good.
Brando was a thing where, because they were trying to finance the movie, and basically for every dollar that you paid Marlon Brando, you'd probably get about $14 back in financing.
He had a lot of cash in terms of marketing.
Because if you
the film.
notice, the beginning of that film, before the Superman title comes up, who's top billing? Not Christopher Reeve.
No, it's Marlon Brando.
It's Marlon Brando followed by Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
And then it says Superman.
So was Superman before or after The French Connection?
After, because French Connection was 74.
Right,
I want to say 74.
The Hackman's amazing in the film. He's really, really good.
I've still not seen it.
What?
The French
Connection. Wow. You must listen to the What Went Wrong podcast about that. It's really interesting.
Yeah, they did a good one on Superman as well, actually. What Went Wrong, highly recommended.
Really good. We watched the original, and it's one of those kind of perfect films, I think. It's not too complicated. It's a very simple story. There's some. I think the writing's better at the beginning of the film. The whole Superman's relationship with his foster parents and as kind of a similar relationship that Spider-Man has with Uncle Ben. It's kind of
the whole great power.
You've got to the focus is more on.
I think the focus is more on keeping his identity secret.
Yeah, but also you can't love one person. You have to love them all. And it's that whole kind of difficulty he has, which you see through the films of choosing between Lois and everyone, which I wonder in the new film if that will crop up again. again, I think the new film
It
is
seems from the trailers, and we're just
more going on.
We're speculating pre-movie here.
We've not seen it yet.
It seems from the trailers that their relationship is a bit more established.
Right.
And as I'm saying this, a poster's just flashed up for the Fantastic Four movie, which we know from the trailers they're more established because they have a kid, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to Superman. But any expectations for this? Because I'll be honest with you, and this is going to be really boring. We'll switch off here now, but I've got no expectations whatsoever for this. I'm blank.
Well, I mean, having seen the first trailer, I'm wondering. There's a lot of villains in this film, and I'm a bit worried that it will suffer from the same problem that was it Spider-Man 3 with the Sandman?
No, that was Spider-Man 2.
Whichever Spider-Man had all the villains.
No, that
in.
was Spider-Man 3.
Yeah,
yes, sorry.
There were a lot of villains in that, and it got a very, very confusing and a bit kind of tricky to follow the narrative. And I'm hoping they keep that a bit more contained in this film. I'm hoping to see, because I know we saw that in Wonder Woman. There's a few little nice nods or homages to the original film. So in Wonder Woman, there's that whole scene in that back alley where Wonder Woman. It's a role reverse, isn't it? Where she protects Chris Pine's character with a bullet being shot, which is a homage to, Clark protecting Lois and then fainting. And I'm wondering what sort of, hopefully tasteful, gentle nods to the original film may be in that. Whether James Gunn does that or not. And I'm also wondering what happens. What's the legacy of this film? What happens next? Is it going to be? Does it leave it open to more films? Should there be another film? Should it be self-contained? Is it spelling disaster, or is it spelling a hopeful future for DC after all the wobbles of the film?
This is setting up the new DC.
It is.
EU, so or DCU, or whatever they're calling it. So it definitely is going to leave things open. We know from casting that there is a Supergirl.
Is she the Supergirl from the series?
No.
I don't know. Don't tell me anything about that. But,
no, it's fine.
Is it Sarah Michelle Gellar?
No.
Ah, shame.
She's a bit old for it.
I know,
now.
but
same age as me, actually.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, man.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, do you know who it is?
Who? Buffy, of course I do.
No, Supergirl.
Oh, Supergirl.
Do you know who
I don't know. I don't know.
Should we speculate who it is?
No, I know who it is.
You know,
because I've seen her.
Oh, I don't.
I saw an interview with.
Is it Sydney
Supergirl.
Sweeney?
No, it's not.
Okay, is it? Who else could it be?
It's someone. It's not a very well-known actor.
Oh right, okay. Is it Florence Pugh? She's quite well-known, isn't she?
No, it's not. She's in the Marvel universe.
She's Scarlet Witch's sister, isn't she?
Yeah.
No.
Don't. It's fine. You don't need to speculate. It's boring.
Okay. Sorry.
So.
Quite like speculating.
Anyway, John, people. So there we go. I think the one thing I'm worried about is the job that David Corenswet does with the character, because
is that the guy who plays Superman?
Huh? Yes.
What's his name?
David Corenswet.
Never heard of him. What's he been in before?
Some TV show.
Okay.
He seems like a nice guy in the interviews that I've seen and everything. But I am slightly worried because having now been reminded of Christopher Reeve's performance and how amazing he was. I mean, his physicality as Clark Kent really was such a contrast.
The way he stooped and
exactly, to make himself smaller, because he was a big guy.
God, this new actor must be riffing off that, surely. He must be.
The facial expressions and so on, as well as he alternates between Superman.
It was incredible because he looks so different. He just looked he looked so different, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he gets enough credit for his acting abilities in that film.
The moment in the original one where where he's in the apartment with Lois and
it all changes, doesn't it? He gives up.
He basically is about to tell her. He decides he's going to tell her, and he takes his glasses off. But when you see suddenly he just goes into Superman. Then as soon as she comes back in, he puts the glasses back on and he goes back into Clark again.
Curls down.
So good.
So the uncut version removes the whole scene by the Victoria Falls with his glasses falling into the fire.
Oh, in Superman 2.
Yeah.
That's
the
Donna cut.
Yeah, the Donna cut. Did you watch the Donna cut?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I quite liked it. No, I thought Donna cut was good.
I'm sure Rachel Brosnahan is going to be amazing. I loved her in The Marvelous Mrs.
Is she
Maisel.
Lois Lane?
Yes.
Right.
And she was in a show called The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah, my wife likes that.
Which is
that Netflix?
Superb. Amazon Prime, I want to say.
Okay.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
So I've got no worries about her. I'm kind of slightly worried about Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern. Nathan Fillion.
Okay, so I didn't know about that at all.
He's Green Lantern. It's in the trailer. Totally in the trailer.
Not trailer 1 though, it wasn't.
Oh, whoops. It's in
So I didn't know that, so you spoiled that for me. I can't believe you, Bobby. But he was in Firefly, wasn't he, Nathan Fillion? I loved doing Firefly.
Yeah, he's been in
and
so
and
much.
Castle.
And The Rookie.
And
One of my favourite
Deadpool, I
shows.
think. Was he in that as well?
Who?
Was he in Deadpool?
Oh yeah, it wasn't Deadpool.
Yeah, the Wolverine Deadpool film, I think.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to now.
What about Crypto? What do you think about Crypto? Because Crypto was a comic deal.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we're seeing Crypto on the big screen. I think he
sounds
appeared
like,
in the Superboy
sounds
TV
like
series.
Cosmo, doesn't it?
Cosmo. Who the hell's
Cosmo the dog
Who's Cosmo?
from the Marvel Universe.
Who?
Cosmo the dog, the talking dog with a space helmet. Oh my lord, Mark will not be happy with you.
It's too Marvel. The Marvel universe is too big.
Yeah, you're right. It is. So I'm looking forward to now. Remind me, it's the chap from Mad Max and from who plays Lex Luthor.
Tom Hardy.
No, who plays Lex Luthor.
Nicholas Hoult.
Nicholas Hoult.
About a boy.
Bad boy. He I think is going to be a good Lex Luthor.
He's awesome.
He's been very good as a baldy in many films, but I think in Mad Max in Furiosa he was brilliant. So I think it's really good casting. I watched the more recent DC films, and I was not a fan of. Help me out here. The actor who plays Lex Luthor, Facebook guy, Jesse
Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg. I didn't like him. He's a good actor, but I didn't like his kind of slightly autistic
When you
Lex
watched,
Luthor,
so when
Alexander
you watched
Luthor.
Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice,
Yes.
did you watch the Snyder,
Yeah, I watched-
uncut,
yeah, I did,
the
yeah.
proper one?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And did it change your opinion because you didn't like that film?
Do you know what? It's a good question because this is exactly what I thought about when I watched it. I really, really, really enjoyed.
It was the
Much
director's
better.
cut is so much better.
So I remember being a bit down on the whole DC films and the whole superhero genre, and I think we did a hit about 3 or 4 years ago. You and I were both in like superhero fatigue. But I rewatched the DC films. I watched the Snyder cuts of all of them. I really enjoyed them. Really enjoyed them actually, and I have to say the Henry Cavill Superman, really empathetic. Really kind of chimed with me a lot.
Yeah.
And that whole
And a lot of
relationship with
his-
Amy Adams is
A lot of
nice.
his internal struggle was to do with how he lost his father,
Yeah.
I think, as well, because that was very tragic.
Because he comes back, doesn't he? Superman sees him and he kind of hallucinates him and suddenly like on top of the mountain, and I thought that was really well done.
Yeah.
And is that scene there with Kevin Costner on top of the mountain is not in the cut version then, is it not? So why would they get rid of those amazing, those amazing heartfelt scenes? Why would they get rid of them?
So that was the problem.
Yeah.
So the cinematic cut of that film was very much just bish bash, bish bash, bish bash.
Yeah.
There was no heart to it, and also the story kind of didn't make sense. You couldn't connect with it. Whereas when you watch the director's cut, which has got nothing missing, it's as he intended, and that's the problem I think with Zack Snyder is that the film we're about to see is 2 hours, so it's quite, by today's standards, it's quite efficient.
2 hours is the standard length these days.
Yeah. But Zack Snyder he likes things to breathe so much that
He likes his slow-mo, doesn't he?
exactly,
Yeah.
and there's the slow-mo thing as well. So anyway, sorry, this Fantastic Four poster keeps flashing up. I keep seeing Vanessa Kirby, and I don't know what it is about her.
Well, it's because she's in the Mission Impossible
My
film.
wife says she looks like really weird, but to me, I'm into.
Oh no,
that.
I'm with you.
I'm totally into.
Yeah.
That. So anyway, there we go. That's it. We're gonna wrap up now.
We're gonna buy some popcorn, I think.
Yeah, there's a bit of a queue developing for popcorn and stuff, and we're gonna get some pictures in front of the Superman poster.
Yep.
Hopefully, the nice ticket teller over there will help us, and then we'll see you, ladies
After
and
the
gents,
film.
afterwards for some spoiler-free reaction, and then we might do some spoilery stuff.
Alex has already
as
seen it,
well.
hasn't he? So we're going to talk to Alex about it later on.
Has Alex seen it already?
Yeah, he saw it.
He's been really well
He saw it
behaved.
on release day 11th, I think.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
with Amy.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, well there you go. Thanks so much for joining us, and hopefully you'll join us for part 2 after we've seen this movie.
It's from now up and away to the popcorn store.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you like my Superman coloured peacoat?
Very nice, yes. I like the interior. Flashy interior, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice indeed.
Cool. Right, off we go. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and all that stuff.
Yep.
Bye. Right, we've just come out of the IMAX. I can't get it
That
in.
way. That way.
I can't. Is there?
Hello. There it
There's
is behind
the
you.
IMAX.
There it is behind you. Behind us.
Where Tom Cruise once stood a few weeks ago. We have come out of the IMAX. We have seen Superman.
Yep.
James Gunn's Superman, I hasten to add. And I'm looking like a very angry brown Lex Luthor. Oh, look at the green light. There we go.
There we go.
So, I don't know whether I should talk about my feelings now or wait until we get together with Alex and then talk about it. But
We can give an instant feel about it now, though, can't we?
okay, my instant feeling is I'm never going to see that film again. How about you?
I think I'll probably will watch it again. There are a couple of things there that kind of made me think. There's a reference there. There's a plot for the next one coming up.
Yeah.
You know, they left it. Sorry, just trying to avoid buses. They left it open. Definitely open for another one. What do we know? What do we know about? Well,
We knew they were going to leave it
says.
open for another one
be careful
because
what it
it's the
says.
beginning of the DCEU.
DC. No, you're thinking of the DC European Union, aren't you, Bobby?
No, DC Extended
Oh,
Universe.
right. Okay, fair enough.
But I honestly, there were I would have been quite happy to walk out of that thing at various points.
You were very quiet. I mean, I did chuckle a couple of times.
The dog was awesome.
The dog was very good.
The dog was awesome. Okay,
very
let me
sweet.
start with positives. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And we're trying
Without
trying
spoiling
not
it.
to do spoilers.
Or trip you up. Sorry.
It'll trip me up.
Yeah.
We're not going to do spoilers. We'll try not to do spoilers. We'll wait for Alex to do spoilers. But
Yeah.
non-spoiler reaction. That movie is worse than Superman 4, and I've only seen bits of Superman 4.
That's a bit harsh.
Rachel Brosnahan was a good Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent of Margot Kidder.
Yeah.
David Corenswet did an okay job.
I thought he was very good indeed. I thought he had charisma.
Okay, so in
He
your
was a perfect,
pantheon
scout
of
boy.
cinematic
with scout.
Supermans, he's still not as good
He's
as
no Christopher Reeve. No,
he's not as good as Henry Cavill either. And do you know what? This film actually
It's a
makes
very
me
different vibe to Henry
even
Cavill.
more angry about the way that Cavill was axed as well. It was so unfair. But do you know what? Actually, Henry Cavill, if you're watching this at all, or anyone who knows Henry is
Come and get a suit
watching
from
this,
him if you're watching this.
also that, because whoever's doing your tailoring is doing a shit job. But anyway,
Caught him at a bad
if
time,
Henry Cavill
sorry.
gets this message somehow through the universe or interwebs,
Maybe he'll fly down.
where are we going?
I don't know, mate.
We're trying to find food and we're like going away from...
Oh, ping pong's quite nice. Tie.
Yeah, that'll do. Anyway, Henry, good damn job that you're not involved in this, because, oh God, it's worse than any of the films that you're
Well, I
in.
disagree with you. I quite enjoyed it, but we'll talk about it on the podcast. Yeah, I mean, people who are going to watch it, it's very James Gunn, isn't it?
It's very James Gunn.
Very James
so,
Gunn.
you
There's
know,
a lot
I
more
was a big
humour.
fan of the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Don't get me wrong, absolutely loved it. And yeah,
I mean,
the rest of his
it
stuff
was more.
like, yeah, whatever.
There was more Suicide Squad than Guardians in that. I thought, just in terms of the
It
humour.
wasn't Superman, dude.
Well, yeah, it was a very different Superman. Yeah, definitely. It was very different.
So yeah, so there you go. Look, that's a very short, instant reaction, because I need to marinate this, and we'll get back together with Alex because it'll be really interesting to hear what he thought of it.
I've got a very different opinion to you about this, I think, which is going to be interesting for the podcast.
Oh, it's going to be
Yeah,
explosive. But Nicholas Hoult was good as Lex Luthor.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was the overall scripting that let it down. and it did turn into complete like CGI superhero bish bash bosh.
It was very bashy.
It was very bashy.
Mr. Terrific I quite enjoyed. He wasn't he in Resident Alien as well? With Alan Tudyk as the policeman. He looked like the same. We'll have to
He was.
We'll have to
He's
fact
been
check
in
that.
loads of
He's
stuff.
good.
That
I
guy.
quite enjoyed him.
What did you think of Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern?
Weird looking.
Yeah.
He
That
was
was a
weird.
very weird looking Green
And,
Lantern.
and I think he was wearing a corset as well. Sorry, Nathan,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Made Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern look good.
Yeah, it is. But I think he was meant to be a figure of. He was meant to be a bit of an idiot in that film. I think
Yeah.
you don't get that from the trailers, but you do from the film.
And it was violent. It was like
It
really
was
like
dark.
quite horrific and stuff.
Yeah.
This is not like any parents out there with young children. I'd be really careful about taking your kids to it. I wouldn't take a under 12.
Was it 12A? Was it?
I wouldn't take an under 12
No.
to it. No.
There's one particular scene I'm thinking of in the
There's
the
kind
thingy.
of like
Don't
really
give it away.
in the thingy.
Yeah, with
but
the
yeah.
dude with the baby.
Definitely, if you've
Yeah.
got kids that are susceptible to nightmares because they're a bit weak,
Or young.
young,
Yeah.
then don't take them to this because
No.
otherwise you're going to have them wetting the bed for months. But yeah, for me, instant out of 10, I feel like it's a 3.
Ooh, I'll give it about 6.5, 7. 7. I'll give it a
You're
7.
always generous.
Well, I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
No.
And that's it. So we'll be back on the main pod to talk this out with Alex hopefully in the next week or so.
We got to
But yeah,
cogitate for a while.
there we
Think
go.
about it.
And if you've seen Superman, if you agree with me or you agree with him, then tell us in the comments. Tell us what you
Yeah.
thought of it. And if you haven't seen it yet, are you going to? Have you got tickets booked, or are you just not bothered? Because really, I feel like I just wasted 2 hours of my life.
Well, I think it was worth going to see. So we got two different opinions there. But you need to go and see it, and then form your opinion, and come back and let us know.
Hey, you hated Batman v Superman, but now you've seen the director's cut. You thought it was freaking awesome.
I enjoyed that, yeah.
Maybe there's a director's cut of this that make me change my mind.
Maybe.
I don't think there is.
The Gunn cut.
F James Gunn. I
Oh,
can't even
dear.
swear on our podcast anymore because of monetization. But yeah. Do you know what, James Gunn? If you're watching this, come meet me and I'll show you who's.
Get your laser eyes out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Damn right, I'll laser his head off. Right, thanks for watching. As always, join in the comments. We love to chat with you, and also please make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss anything in future. We'll see you soon. We're going to go find something to eat, and then I'm going to chew John's head off about this stupid movie.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.